Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We will get started shortly. Just want to make a call for public comment. Thanks, everyone, for joining us in the hearing room today. If anyone is in person to provide public comment, please complete a comment card in the back of the room and bring it up front. And to our attendees, thank you for joining us via the Zoom platform. I'm going to go through and call on our hand raise so we can get organized before the meeting and see who's here to provide public comment and comment on our agenda items. So I'm going to go in order of the names I see. Mona M., are you here to provide public comment today or comment on any items?
Yes, just public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller Audit LA, are you here to provide comment or general public comment or comment on our items?
Yes, ma'am. Public comment and every item. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Caller by the name of Minnie Minion, are you here to provide general public comment or comment on any of our items?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, I'm here for public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Caller Yvonne, are you here to provide general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items today?
All items and public comment.
Thank you, caller. Caller TT, are you here to provide general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items today? And go ahead and unmute yourself. All right, we're gonna move to the next. Caller Amy's iPhone, are you here to provide general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items?
General comment.
Thank you, caller. That's all the hands I see raised for today. If you would like to provide general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items, please be sure to raise your hand. Thank you.
Mr. D is in the house. What's up, Mr. D? Brother Thomas. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I see another hand raised. Caller Kelly, do you have the general public comment or comment on any of our agenda items today?
Good morning. General comment.
Great, thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Gonna make one last call for the hand raised I see for caller TT. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know if you're here for general public comment or comment on any agenda items.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
No worries.
General public comment.
Great, thank you. Got you down. Thank you. Good morning.
Sanders. Some trick or treat candy, Mr. Davis. I like candy. I don't have a dentist. I don't need my teeth. So you all got good insurance and you can afford a couple dentists, don't we? Just like Mr. Davis with black hands. What you know? Criminal. Mayor has provided no start on time. We don't got a quorum. Cancel the meeting and give us 1 minute of public comment. Let us niggers be heard. First time in history, as a white motherfucker, I've never been here taking away my Kaiser Permanente doctors. You're taking my doctors away, Mr. Davis. I get no treatment for mental health because all my Kaiser doctors are on strike. Where's the fucking mayor? Where's the bitch? It doesn't do shit for homelessness except being poor. Kaiser needs to get their shit together and get a white motherfucker to the work. Does anybody want to raise their hand and support a Weezard for ripping up your tax-paying dollars? Afraid not. Not today. Not today. What about Peter Thomas from the attorney's office that got his bar license removed? Peter, 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 suck a dick, Peter, you don't got a bar license, la 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 la, la 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 la. And what about Mr. Clark? What about Mr. Clark? James Clark, another dick. What a dick. How dare you suck a dick like that, Mr. Clark? Ripping off the public. Well, I have learned and paid for your mishaps. La Gloria. Put those wetbacks out of business. Put La Gloria out of business. Because you want to build a rotundra. Spend nobody comes to work anymore. There's Pat Garcia. Garcia. Hey, Pat Garcia. You know you fucked up, Garcia. You know you fucked up telling those people about Scientology.
don't mean to hold any of you up, but you can go back to your job and come back in 30 minutes. We, the public, control this meeting, so go back to your job, sit behind a desk or a cubicle and wait till you're called. Thank you.
We're waiting on,
Where's the new commissioner? Who's the new commissioner that dumb bitch hired? Dumb bitch don't fix the sidewalks and streets. That's what the LA Times story talks about. Infrastructure and no fucking repairs by the mayor. Your mayor has failed you tremendously. Come on in, John. John. Join the club, John. It's time to work. Come on, everybody. Come and join the criminals in Los Angeles and learn how to steal money. Come and join us and steal some money with the criminal enterprise. Los Angeles is a criminal enterprise. Welcome. Welcome all you criminals to Los Angeles. Yeah, all the criminals from Los Angeles and the Chinese that work with Weezer. Won't Weezer criminality with Raymond Chan? Where the fuck is Raymond Chan? Surrender your engineer license, you moron dick. Raymond Chan is a fucking criminal. We know it. LA Enterprise. No fucking meeting after 20 minutes with John.
good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, October 18th, 2024. Vice President Villegas is absent today, and I, Mike Davis, President Pro Tem, will chair the meeting. Mrs. Zatorsky, would you please establish the roll call and quorum?
Great. Let me put us into record mode so we are started. All right. It's 10:07 a.m. and let us take roll call and establish quorum. We are joined today by President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Grant, and Commissioner Reyes, and Commissioner Corsand are all present, and we have a quorum. Let's see. We have, again, Devin Zatorsky with the Board of Public Works. We have 2 speaker cards in person today on general public comment. We have 7 general public comments on the Zoom, and then we have commenters on all of our agenda items today. So we'll get through those as we get to the items. And no neighborhood council commentary. So we can move on to the next item, general public comment.
Thank you. We'll start with general public comment. Mr. Greenspan. Mr. Greenspan. Is Mr. Greenspan here? Okay. Next we have WN2HHH.
Bitch. Fucking criminal attorneys in Los Angeles. Fucking criminal enterprise and your Raymond Chan engineer bullshit. Why would you let this fucking Chinese motherfucker run our city to the ground like this? Is this what America was founded upon? Thieves? An organization of white-collar crimes? What fucking morons, stupid, simplified fucking faggots you are not to stand up and say, no, we're against you, Weezer. We're against you, Englander. We're against you, Ridley Thomas. We're against this fucking enterprise of criminal corruption. Are you not tired of paying this shit? Are you not satisfied that we have a criminal fucking enterprise in America? And I'll read it into the record. Lone Park inmate BOP 79518-112. For the record, Jose Luis Huizar, incarcerated for 13 years of this fucking nonsense. Fix our fucking streets, put fucking lighting, and get all these fucking homeless criminals off our fucking streets so I can walk safely on a fucking sidewalk. Just the same way that fucking Scientology is paying you white niggers too, to let them and allow them to sit on the goddamn sidewalk and streets with their shit. Remove the barriers. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the sinkholes. I'm tired of the potholes. I'm tired of the failure of your mayor, Carrot Bass. Yes, Carrot Bass sucks a cock, and so does Sacramento, because you follow the same bullshit. Writing proposals that don't work, suck a tampon, go to hell, God hates you, Snyder versus Phelps.
We'll begin our meeting with item number 1.
Sorry to interrupt, President
Yes.
Pro Tem. We're going to go to we still have some general public comment on the Zoom.
Oh,
call.
I'm sorry.
So, no problem.
Yes,
We'll take
go ahead.
those
Yes.
first before we get started, then head into approval of minutes, and then go to the rest of the agenda items. So going to go in order, continue our general public comment of our callers on the Zoom. Going to start with caller Mona M. You'll have 2 minutes for general public comment.
Good morning. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Hello, Board of Public Works. It's me again, Mona. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. After review of your item number 6 from Wednesday, I would like to point out your complete bias and discriminatory practice. Wednesday, there was a discussion about an art permit for 313 East Grand Boulevard. They have been in a compliance review for several years and lots of money. This is for exact same issues that I have been terrorizing you about for L. Ron Hubbard and Fountain Avenue since June without resolution. It also shows your question last week of Ms. Villegas to the city attorney. What can our public commenters do to find a solution to their complaints? Was a pure lie, since you already understood and knew exactly what we were complaining about and having a review already in process for another company. Your clear disregard for equal application of the law provides evidence for a civil grand jury investigation that I will be pursuing. Your disregard for municipal, state, and federal regulations is abhorrent, but not shocking, since the relationship between the city of LA and Scientology is blatantly obvious. Whether you as a board are instructing the misappropriation or acting in a complicit manner, which also makes you culpable, either way, you are responsible and accountable. This disregard for the law needs to be corrected immediately. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you, caller. Our next caller on the Zoom is caller Audit LA. You'll have 2 minutes for your general public comment.
Good morning, board, commissioners. You get a break for me today, in a way, but I'm still here. I too want to bring up what happened the other day with item number 6. That gentleman came up to me and was a bit upset because he's like, "What? Like Scientology's able to have, you know?" He didn't say. I'll put the number in 250 non-ADA compliant planters, and they don't get fined. Nothing. They're not. Nothing happens to them. He goes, "I have planters down because we're trying to, improve things, but they were ADA compliant, and we still got fined. We still had to go through all this stuff. The city put us through this process to get permitted, and it's been an uphill battle." He goes, like, I'm upset. He was upset to hear that Scientology is not held to any of the same standards. And I guarantee you, he's not the only one. I bet that there's other places that have to deal with planners and getting their R permits and going through all this and the money of it. They're going to be upset to hear that Scientology they don't have to have R permits. They're able to put down so many planners to the point where it breaks the sidewalk. Literally, it's breaking. It's worse every time I go out there. And even if the city tells them they need to move it, the city's not going to do anything about it. They don't really have to move it. It's just a hint, hint, wink, wink. You got to move it. People are complaining. Okay. And it's just so much. It's just so beyond the pale at this point. So I'm trying to understand why. Is it that Scientology has like infiltrated so much that can you did they infiltrate so much that they're at such high levels, or that or that they're so connected, that they get to do what they want? I don't know. It's the weirdest thing to me. But and you do have the power to do it, because I read your
Thank you,
bylaws
caller.
that
That's 2
create you.
minutes. All right. Our next caller is caller by the name of Minnie Minion. You'll have 2 minutes for your public comment.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you for your time today. I would like to elaborate with you on the Church of Scientology. This cult is extremely dangerous, and I hope you can sleep well at night knowing that there are children being sexually, physically, and mentally abused by them, because I know I can't sleep at night knowing this. And, we really don't want to attack you. I don't, at least I don't personally. I just want to bring awareness to you to the fact of what really does go on inside that place. And to help, all we're asking is for you to help us be these children's voice. These poor children have no voice, and they cannot consent to what they are being forced to be consent to. Okay, this is really, it's very scary that this is a worldwide cult that torments people. Not only children, but adults as well. And they abuse their elderly to the point of where it's a sin. It's a downright sin. This is unacceptable in America today for a child to have to bear witness to what they are doing to these children in this cult. I really hope you can sleep well at night knowing this, because like I said, I cannot. Okay, I really don't know what ball you need to start getting on the roll here, but every county, every state, every country needs to get together and really fight this fight. It's ridiculous now, okay? I wake up at night sweating, crying, because I can't deal with the fact of what goes on in these buildings. They're coming to my county. I live on the beautiful island of Long Island, and they're now coming here. I don't want them in my backyard. I'm glad you like them in yours. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, caller. Our next caller is Yvonne. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for your general public comment.
Thank you very much. I promised you Wednesday that I would offer you a solution, and I ran out of time. I am speaking specifically about the endless street permits that are issued to Scientology, and the permit in 2024-1660-2024 in particular, which was just last week, is symbolic of the permits that they have been issued for 6 months. When there is an actual event, it appears to be a movie shoot or a commercial for their propaganda that is used for recruitment and to satiate the curiosity of their own membership. Now, they get these special event permits because they're cheaper than a movie permit. That is one of the reasons why they hurry up any actual public citizen in attendance, particularly during the hours where the lighting is good. The violations of no ADA toilets, the food being served and sold, the permit being violated if it was in fact a community event also is not being checked and double checked. The solution is suspend their opportunity to get any special events permits for the next 10 years. That suspension would allow the city to develop means to actually control an organization which by its own doctrine and mandate, the laws do not apply to them.
Thank you, caller.
You are
That's 2
not
minutes.
facilitated.
Our next caller is Amy. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm playing the Twilight Zone because that's what I feel like when I'm looking at how you're behaving in your city of LA. Rules for the Scientology and rules for the other people. So the other thing is that when are we going to get an equal society of people that is normal for the rest of the country, because you're being looked at by giving preferential treatment of allowing these planters that are starting to buckle, by the way. The bans around them on L. Ron Hubbard Way and the other streets like Fountain Avenue are starting to buckle. The 200 plus, I think it was 234, 250, are starting to buckle. And again, the world is watching. You look like a joke. You're in a silly bubble of Scientology. People don't accept it. You got to wake up, maybe get on the internet. It's all there on the interwebs. You all can do some research. It's right there in front of your face. It's all over YouTube, Twitter, all the social media. Your kids would laugh at you that you're allowing Scientology to do what they want. You're going to be judged. You're on the wrong side of history. It's a joke. You're walking pariahs. You're absolutely in that Twilight Zone. I could see you in an episode back in the 50s, just going along with their silliness and their manipulation, because that's what I feel like when I'm watching this crap that you're allowing to happen, because you are all in that Twilight Zone bubble. You might as well be on that train on the Twilight Zone that keeps rolling around into Twilight Zone Scientology City, aka the Truman Show, that you all are in right now. You got to wake up and be on the right side of history and have the proper legacy for your children, because that's going to be embarrassment city when they see what happens when they finally get those kids rescued out of those buildings that they're being abused in. That I yield back my time.
Thank you. That's 2 minutes. Next caller is caller Kelly. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for your general public comment.
Good morning. Thanks for allowing us public comment via the Zoom. I wanted to say that yesterday I stumbled upon a video of a woman at a Los Angeles City Council meeting from 16 years ago who was speaking about living on Ron Hubbard Lane. I call it Ron Hubby Lane. For 2 years, dealing with every weekend for 2 years, she and her neighbors had to put up with events happening, and I will say it was much more severe 16 years ago, and 18 in total from what I can gather. But same practices and tactics, same fake plants being put up and barriers and things like this to keep the public from using the road with their cars. But at the time, they were also blocking the neighbors. And I wanted to just say that it was very informative for me to see that this has been something that I knew was going on for a long time, but seeing it there and hearing her complain about these same issues that people are complaining about today was pretty eye-opening. But I do want to say that in recent videos and things, we've been able to see Ron Hubby Lane open and clear at times where they don't have a permit. And if anybody sitting here today had anything to do with that, I want to thank you. It's been beautiful, and I do know for certain that the neighbors on that road as well as around are very grateful. However, the 251 planters that remain in the somewhat Fort Knox situation there are well out of control, and obviously in an attempt to keep people off the easement and protesting, speaking out against Scientology. I know that there's an ordinance, or there was a letter for them to remove them. That has not been done yet. If any of you know anybody, contact.
Our next caller is caller TT. If you can go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for your general public comment.
Yeah, I want to end on a positive note. I want to recognize a specific individual named Jennifer Krauskopf. She's the one responsible for filling out all the permits with Streets LA to close the street. When caught on camera presenting fraudulent made up permits to the police to enforce. And that was given to the Streets LA Bureau. What happened? Public access for free was taken down at the portal. How deep does it go? What side of the jail cell bars do you want to be on? I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you, caller. Our next
If it's all
caller-
right, I want to interrupt before our students leave. Hold on one second, Dr. Davis, if that's okay.
Sure.
We had visitors here from international MPA master students from USC, and I just wanted to acknowledge they were here. We met with them earlier.
Wonderful.
And I know it's Dr. Davis's alma mater.
That's right.
So I know
That's right.
I didn't mean to interrupt public comment, but I thought it would be great for Dr. Davis to maybe say a few words too, because
Sure,
it is his
absolutely.
alma mater.
We want to welcome you here, and always Trojans are welcome in their city hall. I happen to have attended and did graduate work in the School of Public Policy. I guess it's the Price School of Public Policy now. And here in Public Works, as you know, we help manage the infrastructure of the city of Los Angeles. And we wish that you would come back and get an opportunity to hear some of the items that we process in this board that help to improve the infrastructure of the city and as a result, the quality of life for residents in Los Angeles. So again, welcome, and please do come back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Kassan.
Thank you, Commissioner Corsan. We have a few more public comments, but thank you to our guests from USC. We'll finish up. I believe we have 2 more hands raised on the Zoom, so we'll finish with those 2 and then head into our agenda items. Our next caller with their hand raised is Gigi. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for general public comment.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I've been following you guys for a few months now, and I haven't called in. I don't live there, so maybe my voice doesn't even mean anything, but I'm sick of just listening and not saying anything. You guys have heard endlessly about these planners on L. Ron Hubbard Way. You've heard about the permits, and there might have been some action because the road did open up temporarily here and there the past few days, but there needs to be more done. On Wednesday, item 6 was about someone who was basically getting in trouble, or from my understanding, getting in trouble for permits or whatever, the same stuff that Scientology is doing. I'm asking you guys to have equal enforcement. If someone is going to get in trouble for it that's not Scientology, Scientology should get in trouble for their stuff too. I don't know what you guys can actually do, but seeing item 6 the other day, you can obviously do something. So can you please just listen to us so that we can just go on our way and this meeting can be like a half hour again? We're going to keep calling until something's done. This is ridiculous. And on a side note, President Pro Tem, I just want to say you're awesome doing the leading of this meeting. It's always a better experience. That's no shade to anyone else, but I really enjoy when you lead it. It seems to go really smoothly. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Our next caller is caller David M. If you can unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes.
Yes, good morning, board. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. This is the Scientology glorious leader, David Miscavige, calling in, and I just want to point your attention really quick to all of these pesky critics on this call today. They're out here talking about child trafficking and slave labor, and I can assure you, even though I'm involved right now in a massive RICO case and human trafficking case, all of this is bogus, all right? I am telling you as the glorious leader of Scientology, that these people are nothing but agitators. They are in a gang. Do not ever dare look down L. Ron Hubbard Way as we illegally blockade it every single day with bogus permits thanks to Jennifer and her direct connections to the LAPD. Do not bother to CPRA any of the emails. with the LAPD SLOs and other captains and sergeants. Those are all bogus emails, and I can tell you forthwith that the CPRA process is absolutely bogus. This is your glorious leader, David Miscavige, ensuring you and telling you that spirits are in fact high. All of our stats are up, straight and vertical. Continue down the righteous path of Scientology. David Miscavige, out and out. And do not ever look into that child trafficking, human trafficking case that I am a part of right now. I am definitely not in a court case involving RICO charges. Do not look in. Do not. Bye-bye.
Mrs. Sotorsky, is that our last public comment?
I believe so. I don't know what the caller, yes, that's the last one.
Thank you. We'll begin the meeting with agenda item number 1, Bureau of Sanitation and the Bureau of Contract Administration
But-
in CD.
Sorry to interrupt, President Pro Tem. Before we move on to item number 1, let's take the minutes from
Oh, I see.
last meeting. So if we
Okay.
could do approval of the minutes from September 27, 2024.
Sure. May I have a second to my motion to accept the
So moved.
minutes? Seconded by Commissioner Grant.
Great, we'll take the roll call. President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes. Aye. Wonderful. All ayes, the item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Now
All right,
we'll
now we
begin
can move
with
on to item 1. Great.
Thank you, Ms. Sotorsky. We will begin with item 1 in CD 6, Personal Services Contract. This is Jacob Project Management Company, recommending the board authorize the Director of the Bureau of Sanitation to, 1, find the proposal of Jacobs Project Management Company, JPM Co. Jacobs, provide the lowest ultimate cost and best value to the City of Los Angeles as compared with other responsive proposals submitted. 2, approve, award, and execute a contract with JPM Co. Jacobs for engineering phase of a progressive design build contract for the 8 million gallon advanced water equalization basins at Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant at a design cost of $8,800,325. 3, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained from the city attorney. 4, find it in the city's best interest to not apply the local business program requirement for this contract in order to satisfy provisions of the U.S. EPA Water Infrastructure and Innovation Act funding, WOSZD 11344. And this item was rescheduled from Wednesday, October the 16th, 2024. And presenting before us is Ra Taya. Is that correct?
Ryan,
Ryan Taya.
and before,
Tia, is it Tia?
and
Okay.
before we get to Ryan's presentation on this item, I believe we do have public comment in person, and I know we have public comment on the Zoom.
Okay, and let's see, we have WMF.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have another criminal program here under Jacobs Project. Not that Peter Thomas and James Clark have anything to do with this, but we still have the best value according to what this report states by design and build of the contractor for 8 million gallons of water. Now, that's not going to equalize the troubles already happening in the world. Our water is becoming poisoned by chemicals that Exide, for example, threw into the LA River just less than 6 miles from where I'm standing. And that dumb bitch, Hilda Solis, the county board of supervisors, and all these white motherfuckers who got involved in this criminal enterprise shit, has allowed our water to become contaminated. Not that anyone cares, because if no water, we all die. You can have as much gold in your wallets, you can have as much diamonds, Mr. Vahid, but we will all die according to God's word, the Bible, because we're all nothing but ruthless scum advancing water equalization for $8 million fucking dollars. We should have had wells built to save water. We should have had wells built near parks to prevent overwatering and waste of runoff water. But no, another fucked up plan by the mayor and another fucked up plan by this department. You all suck a dick.
We have presenting, oh, I see you have some as well.
Not a problem.
Yes.
Just want to, for caller Audit LA, you'll have 2 minutes to speak on item number 1.
Thank you. Your water is very important. Living here in Los Angeles, I'll be honest, I'm terrified of our water. I won't even take a sip of tap water to take a vitamin. That's how scared of it I am. And there's just nothing about, I'm coming here to Public Works, and there's nothing about me coming here that gives me any sense of, I can trust what's going on with this process because they have my best interest at heart. They have, because I don't feel that way. I've been here since June saying things that are, for my best interest, or not just my best interest, everyone's best interest, to have an ADA compatible world. But, so my confidence is lacking. We need reclamation. I'm hoping that this is something that's going to further clean our water. And, but I know like the collection of water is very important. And I agree with the previous caller. Why haven't they built wells? Why haven't they done better job of doing more natural reclamation, instead of all the runoff? Our water just runs off out into the ocean. And so all the rainwater, it goes away. And so I don't know why it's going this way instead of more natural ways, but I really hope you guys do have our best interest. I really do hope that this is somebody that's that is a company that is legitimately the best choice, because I see a lot of favoritism here in this city. I see certain places like Scientology and others who get special treatment and get, you look away at whether or not they're abiding by the rules. Are you guys going to look the other way for this company? Like, are they, do they have that inside?
2 minutes. Thank you, caller.
Thank-
Next caller on item number 1 is Yvonne. You'll have 2 minutes for item number 1.
Thank you. My concern, I surprisingly want to support this progress in building these types of collection basins and restoring the water table. However, I would like the contract to add a line item for public education. Specifically, if you build a Ferrari for somebody, but they really need a 4-wheel ATV to take the kids to camping, you built the wrong thing. Public education is needed in the water cycle because the water going into the filtration systems, if it's containing herbicides and pesticides and caffeine and other chemicals that have a long half-life, it's poison on top of poison, and trying to filter out or remove those poisons once they enter into the groundwater or the ground table is nearly impossible. It's counterproductive. So when we need to educate the population as we implement these infrastructure improvements. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. All right, President Pro Tem, that's the end of our public comments on item number 1. We can head to the speaker.
Okay, Ryan Tay.
Hello. Good morning, board member. My name is Ryan Thiha. I'm the Assistant Division Manager at the LA Sanitation Environment. I also have our plant manager, Ron Mayayu, and our project engineer, Andrew Lela, with me today. So I'm going to be recommending the board, as President Pro Tem recited, for the Advanced Water Equalization Basin Project at the Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant. So I'd like to start with the need for the project and go over the contract mechanism and the evaluation process as to how we got here, the next steps, and the funding strategy for this project. So the need for the project, we're in the beginning of implementing the LA Groundwater Replenishment Program, which aims to bring water into the San Fernando Valley Groundwater Basin, up to 30 million gallons of purifying water a day. This is a partnership project with LA Sanitation Environment and Water and Power. So this project, Advanced Water Equalization Basin, is a key component of this whole program for a few reasons. One, in the valley or throughout the city, the flow in the sewer system goes through extremes. So during the daytime when everyone is up using their tap waters, the water level is pretty high in the sewer system, but at night when everyone's fall asleep, the water level gets pretty low. So at the lowest time, we see up to all the way to 15 million gallons a day of the flow, but during the daytime, it will be up to 120 million. So we need to equalize the flow in order to be able to provide stable flow to the advanced water purification facility, which is another big project that is completing the design phase. So that will really alleviate all those extremes that we have to deal with in the sewer system. So that is the need for the project. What we're trying to do technically is we're building 2 large circular tanks, somewhere between 140 to 170 million feet diameter, and it will probably go up to about 30-40 feet, enough to contain 8 to 9.5 million gallons of storage. Based on our calculation, that will provide stable flow of 20 million gallons to 30 million gallons going into the advanced water purification facility, which is being constructed in the next few months. So because of the need for this project, we follow the same contracting mechanism for the advanced water purification facility, which is the progressive design build. We received the council motion and approval to advertise a project using the best value for the city based on the council ordinance number 188128. That authorizes LASN to issue the RFP, go through the selection process based on the evaluation criteria that we issue. So the RFP was issued in February 2024, excuse me, and we received 3 proposals. Based on the 3 proposals, after careful evaluation based on the criteria set, we find that Jacobs provide the most value and the lowest cost to the city for the design phase as well as the construction, which we will get into that after we finish the design phase. So as I've stated, all proposals were evaluated based on the set criteria, such as the project team, the project approach, their financial ability, the cost proposal. With the criteria set, Jacobs received 94.1 points out of possible 100 points. And the next steps for us is to, after the board has awarded the contract, we will issue the NTP, progress and design phase. Once we get to the close to final design or 70% design, we will negotiate the construction price with them. Once we agree on the price, we'll come back to the board, ask for the second authorization to amend the contract to add the construction phase of the project. So there are a couple of challenges associated with this project. Our aim is to produce the recycled water by the end of 2026. So the schedule is pretty aggressive. The scope of the work itself is not really complicated. It's the construction of the 2 tanks with odor control facilities and control systems. But the schedule is really aggressive because we need to start up the advanced water purification facility with the full flow going into the system so that we can get the permits issued for the right flow. We can produce the water sooner than later, because the longer we wait, we've seen in the past 5 years the costs go up. So the timeline for the project, we believe that we'll get to 30% design somewhere around April next year, 2025, to the 90% design by October 2025. So a year from now, we'll be back at this chamber asking for the board to authorize us to move into the construction phase. And finally, we'll finish construction by November 2026, right before we can start up the advanced water purification facility. So that's the summary of the project scope and the timeline. The funding for this project, the design construction cost for this project is available in the sewer capital funds. All costs related to the LA Groundwater Replenishment Program will be reimbursed by Department of Water and Power through the existing agreement. So we are the manager of the construction, design, and operation of the facility. Water and Power will reimburse us because we're providing the clean water to Water and Power to supplement the drinking water supply. So we also receive outside fundings from federal program, US EPA, up to $225 million for this project and advanced water purification facility. So it is in a low form of low interest loan. So there were some implications with receiving the federal funds. The program itself overall, we've received up to 50% of the capital funds from state, local, and federal. So we feel pretty good that we're bringing in a lot of resources to the local community in terms of financial investments from the state, local, federal agencies, and we're able to provide reliable water to the community for many years to come. So with that, I will conclude my presentation here, and I'll be here for any questions and comments that the board may have. Thank you.
Great. I wanted to ask, in terms of the funding, we do have all kinds of funding, both local funding as well as federal funding. Can you briefly summarize our proposed subcontractor utilization plan for this particular item?
For this engineering phase, we follow the business inclusion program already established by the board. So we work with BCA and our centralized contract unit to do the mini outreach. We have the same program that we follow for the personal services contract, meeting the small business, minority-owned business, enterprise requirements during the engineering phase. However, when we get to the construction phase, that's going to be, I would say, 50 times more extensive, from one page of table of consultants to maybe 3-4 pages, multiple players in there. So I also wanted to touch base, maybe because you asked the great question. The investments that we're putting on in the community will bring up to, somewhere between 500 to 600 full-time jobs during the construction.
Sure.
Those are really, really, all the way from concrete mixers to engineers, the different job classifications.
So it will be a broad base of opportunities for small businesses in the construction phase than here in the design phase. Is that
is
what you're
correct.
telling
So
us?
design, as you have stated, is for up to $8,800,000, but construction phase could be up to $90 million. That's where all the spending expenditures are going to be. A lot of that, typically for the project this scale, 50% of that is subcontractors, so small businesses. And this is heavy construction, so we're relying on the local business enterprises to participate.
And I would say that Jacobs has had a great performance on this, at least I know from their inheritance. They've been a leader in terms of expanding opportunities for the kinds of businesses that we have in our environment. So I'm sure this board looks forward to a meeting with you in the future as it relates to the construction phase as well. Any questions from other commissioners on the project? Commissioner Reyes.
I just want to echo my gratitude to the team. When I first took on this commissioner role, one of the first things I did was to tour the plant and become aware of the immense project and the multi-benefit that it will deliver to the community, especially in the valley. So thank you. I think this is a model program. The leadership of both our LA Sanitation and LA DWP folks clearly articulated a vision for advanced water purification, taking advantage of the technology that's out there, and mostly really working together. I think that's what struck me is that joint partnership with another entity, because we want, the city wants that vision to deliver that water as part of our sustainability plan. So thank you so much for that. I know this will be in phases, and I think this one is a good but delicate phase when we start the design and all of that envisioning. So my only question is the part where we also probably would love to see more outreach to our community members for their input, and at the same time looking at potential cost reductions for the overall project, because I know that that is part of our RFP, looking at costs, making sure it's effectively sourced, and at the same time looking at the multi-community benefits. A lot of things, a lot of big expectations, but you're here. This is the beautiful part of it, is that we're moving forward with this project as envisioned. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes.
Thank you, and seeing no other inquiries, can I get a second to my motion to accept item number 1? Okay, that motion has been seconded by Commissioner Reyes. Can we take a roll?
Absolutely.
Mrs. Observer?
We'll start with you, President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you. Next, we have item number 2, an AFE South Coast Air Quality Management. The Bureau of Sanitation and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $80,000 for encumbrance of funds for permit fees and related expenses for Clean Water Division generators for the period of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Authorize the president and 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute this service agreement. AE 257-600-65M, Fund 760, Sewer Operations and Maintenance Fund, Department 50, Appropriation Unit 50AX82. And I think presenting today on that item is Shireen Sy and Clint Mink.
And I believe we have a public comment card in person.
Okay, we do have a
If you
public
could read
comment
that,
card.
and then we'll do our Zoom.
WMF on item 2, public comment.
Air quality with sewer operations doesn't jive me very well. Come on, $80,000 for the encumbrance of funds for permit fees? That sounds likely expensive. And the expenses for clean water and generators shouldn't come at a cost that is likely only $80,000. We should be buying $1 million products from well-built American, built in the USA shit. None of this imported shit from China, or this imported shit from the Middle Eastern, or this shit that comes from shit land where you take advantage of children for cheap labor. Am I not right? We got diddly fucking young kids, especially white males, Mr. Grant. We got fucking combs denying he ever fucked a young child, but yet here in the city of Los Angeles, as the executive board of Public Works oversight, I see something fucking sewer wrong with this maintenance fund. It should be more than $80,000. So who are we fucking kidding here? Who the fuck are we kidding here when it comes to clean air, clean sewers, clean environment? Why? Why is there only one white nigger like myself here today to speak about this funding of 80,000 fucking dollars of authority expenditures for the fucking related expenses for clean water?
Thank you. That's 2 minutes. We'll go on to our
Yeah.
next caller on the Zoom.
Yeah.
We have caller Audit LA. You'll have 2 minutes on item number 2.
I do want to start by thanking Commissioner Reyes for reminding your people who come before you to reach out to the public for their input and also to try to minimize costs. You're sounding like a commissioner when you do that, and I appreciate it. As far as this is concerned, it is a little bit confusing. I agree, because I was like air quality and then sewer. It just seems like it does seem strange, but I do see here that you're that you're talking about permits and paying for permits, and I'm glad that you're, interested in permits in this case. I wish you were interested in permits in every case. And also maybe to help pay for this $80,000, you could fine the Church of Scientology for their massive amount of planters that they have there that are not permitted. Can you imagine if you start fining, different entities that are abusing the system, abusing the permit system, and you get that money in? We could go, we would have another fund on the side to help pay for these things that we want to do. Because sewer, it's important. I know whenever it rains, I can't go out because I'll get stuck because of the sewer backup during the rain. It's horrendous. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be dealt with. I'm glad you're dealing with these things. But, but you're holding yourself accountable to having permits. I'm asking that you please hold other entities accountable when you absolutely know for a fact that they are doing something that needs a permit, but they're not permitted. So let's get on the ball and let's just get it, across the board, everybody straightened out, everybody doing the right thing.
Thank you, caller.
Everybody
That's 2
accountable.
minutes. Our next caller on item number 2 is Yvonne. You'll have 2 minutes for your general public comment, or for your comment on item 2.
Thank you. I'd like the commission and all the departments related to consider that the sewer plants and the water treatment facilities or water pumping facilities need to implement the use of photovoltaic power for their daytime energy. I understand that the generators, that both of these services use a lot of electrical power. And in this case, the generators are probably using methane that is gathered on site, and that creates pollution, which is controlled by the AQMD. And pay the fees, of course, but look forward in how to better utilize the environment and reduce the pollution that these fixed locations create. It will save the ratepayers, and of course, it will be beneficial to the environment. Thank you.
All right, that's the end of our public comments for item number 2.
Okay, we have Ms. Shireen Sai, is that correct? I hope, and Clint Mink.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Welcome.
Oh, okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, board members. My name is Shireen Sai. I'm here with Clint Mink. We're from the Clean Water North Conveyance Divisions and LA Sanitation and Environment. I'm here to seek approval for an authority of expenditure with South Coast Air Quality Management District in the amount of $80,000. The division maintains emergency backup generators at over 40 of our facilities, including sewage pumping plants, low flow diversion, and air treatment facilities. The encumbrance is necessary to pay for the permit fees to operate these generators. The amount requested is the same as the last fiscal year, and that's it. Thank you for your time. I answer any questions as well. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions of item 2? Seeing none, can we have a motion to accept item number 2?
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Reyes, seconded by Commissioner Grant to accept item number 2. Can we have a roll call?
Absolutely. We'll start with you, President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Next, we have item number 3. Excuse me, impacts all districts. It's an AFE, Hitachi Energy USA Incorporated. Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority of expenditure in the amount of $95,000 for custom support service for migrating data from Enterprise Maintenance Planning and Control Impact to Ellipse, and a new interface for Ellipse with the field automation for sanitation trucks, FAST, for services rendered November 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2025. AE 2576, 1828M, Fund 761, Sewer Construction and Maintenance Fund, Department 50, Appropriation Unit 50, WGF6. And let's see here. We have Charles Padilla to present. Is that correct?
And before Charles comes up, I believe you have a
we'll
public
have,
comment
okay.
in front of you,
Let
and then
me
we have
have
2 on the
the
Zoom.
public comment from WMF, item number 3.
White motherfucker. And a white motherfucker is here to work on the Energy Under USA Inc. Charles. And Charles knows as much as I know that $95,000 ain't shit nowadays for running a fucking city like Los Angeles for as many fucking people that are so fucking stupid. Because we just keep paying taxes. But don't forget, we're all going to vote for my councilman because it says CDO. Don't forget Kevin DeLeon. That's who we're voting for. Got more balls than most council members or commissioners to speak up on criminal enterprises and not little chongos, right, Mr. Davis? So the mitigation data from Enterprise Maintenance Planning Control is to satisfy the ellipse and new interface with field automation sanitation. Now that's an excellent idea. However, no one gives a fuck about where the sewer construction shit and the fucking maintenance funds goes, except we need to increase the $95,000 with some, little bit of tweaking for percentage in here, because we have to have some type of, incumbents fees for some type of strategy to come up with the Energy for USA, right? Don't we have some type of expenditure funds in the back of the office here where we can provide such a funding? But it doesn't matter. Sanitation trucks for service and rendered for November 1st. Fuck yeah.
Great. Our next caller is Audit LA. You'll have 2 minutes to speak on item number 3.
Yes, this one's a little confusing too, because it's like sewer, but then it's like trash trucks. Transferring data. It's a lot to digest. I just want to kind of equate this to, like, I hope it's open and for the public to purview, because lately I've noticed that they're getting more secretive. You know, it's hard to get CPRAs at times. It's also hard to get, I mean, portals are now being less information. The public is interested, the public's getting more interested in everything. Like the fact that I'm sitting here and listening about sewer systems and what you're doing and all this thing is because like it starts off with maybe, why are you failing the city on this thing? You know, so let's look at everything else. So the people are getting more where they want to scrutinize everything. But it seems like the more people want to look into things and ask questions, the more the city wants to shut the window, you know, for what you can see. Everything should be open. Absolutely everything. You guys are in public service. You serve the public. Technically, the public is the boss. You're there to represent our interest because I admit with all this stuff, you're way smarter than I am. I don't have I'm not built to understand all of this, but I do have enough of an inquisitive mind to want to make sure that you are on point, that you are being honest, that you are doing the right things for our city. And that's why, you know, we're here looking, and more people are going to start looking. I mean, you're getting people around the world watching these meetings. Did you ever think that you would have thousands, literally thousands of people around the world checking in on these meetings? I wouldn't have expected that. But it starts off with, okay, we see that you're failing in this area miserably.
2 minutes, thank you.
Can
Next caller, Yvonne, you'll have 2 minutes on item number 3.
Thank you. I'd like to emphasize that the failure of enforcement of permits in other areas does build a suspicion on all areas. That being said, the data collected in this proposal is important. What I find lacking is a concern for safety, and when we push employees to data, hurry up with the data, do it by the data, we don't account for real life on the ground. In particular, the example of the trash truck that gets stuck in traffic and the driver has nothing that they can do about it but be patient. So please be mindful of inclusion of safety factors for the employees and the citizens on the streets. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of our public comment for item number 3. We can move on to the item.
Thank you. I think presenting as Charles Padilla, is that correct?
Good morning, board members. My name is
Can
Charles.
adjust the mic. Thank you. You can adjust it. Yeah, great.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Good morning, board members. My name is Charles Padilla, LA SAN Information Control Systems Division. I'm here for this AE. There's 2 parts to it. One of it is to get off of our old maintenance management system and move on to the newer one that our 4 reclamation plants are already using. The only one that's not using it is conveyance systems. And the second part is to rework the interface from the maintenance management system from the old one to the new one for the field automation for sanitation trucks. Those are the Vector trucks that we have about 180 trucks that perform our maintenance daily for our 6,800 miles of sewer lines throughout the city. So once this is finalized, as far as moving the assets from the old system to the new system, and also the 7 years of work orders from the old system to the new system, and we reworked the interface from the mobile system to the new maintenance management system, we could finally close out this old maintenance management system. Any questions?
Any questions, commissioners? Hearing and seeing none, may we have we don't have any other comments, but may we have a second to my motion to accept item number 3?
So move.
Thank you. We have a seconded by Commissioner Grant. Can you please take the roll?
Yes, we'll start with you, President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Padilla. Next, we have an oral report from the status update on major upcoming street improvements project. Dora Robles.
And I believe we have public comment. I believe you have one.
Do I have one
In
of them?
front of you,
It
but
would be,
These are.
oh, it's WMF on this item? Okay, and these are on that as well. Okay.
Yeah, we have these problems with our sidewalk and streets in addition to potholes and slurry sealing that is not getting done within a timely manner. And where's all the money going? Does fucking money come off a money tree? Because there seems to be a problem of why the mayor and a bunch of dickheads can't get together to repair, fix, alter, and renew what us asshole taxpayers for, which is infrastructure. That should be every year in a timely manner and without a motherfucking excuse, right? Did you hear the report in the LA Times about the mayor? I'm sorry to address this issue, but we're working on it. No, bitch. Work harder. Grease the palms from that fucking money tree and stop sliding the dollars into your pocket. Where's the black mayor? Never in the history have I heard some bullshit like that. The same bullshit you hear from Kamala Cunt Harris, who talks about making America great. More fucking jobs. Well, we don't have jobs here in LA because we don't got money to buy equipment to fix the problems. That's why we're looking like a third world country. Why don't you take, for example, and this is a great example, Grand Central Market, Miss Mayor, if you're listening, and to all your fucking stupid staff, and to the Department of Public Works stupid fucking staff and maintenance and repairs. Grand Central Market, every motherfucking day of the week has people from other countries coming in, and guess what? You can't fix not one fucking sidewalk and repair the
That's 2 minutes.
pedestrian
Thank you. That's
sidewalk.
2 minutes. We're gonna move
Please
on to
listen.
the Zoom caller audit LA. You'll have 2 minutes for your public comment.
Next, we have Greenspan.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh, Greenspan. Greenspan. Okay, sorry. Can we have those from the phone? Yes, no problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overspeak you, Commissioner Davis. I got confused. Okay, I'm here because Bureau of Street Services to me is the most disappointing bureau that we have in our city. And I am not just talking about the Scientology aspects of everything I've been coming here and complaining about or begging you for help with for the past since June. It's just as a person in a chair, this city is the most difficult city to navigate. It's unbearable at times. Whether it's the broken streets, the broken sidewalks, the lime scooters in the way, signs from restaurants and, outdoor dining, whatever. It is an immensely difficult city to traverse. And I agree with the previous speaker who's saying, why aren't we putting the money to fixing it? Why? It's not even just because it's for the ADA. I get it. The city does not care about the ADA. It doesn't. It's very, very clear to me that they don't care. And it's whatever. But just for everything, why are we not putting an emphasis on our streets and sidewalks to be safe? How many lawsuits? Every time it seems like you go to the city council, there's a lawsuit for somebody injured, falling on the sidewalks or something. Why are we not putting money towards it? You guys got sued. The city got sued, a massive amount of lawsuits to make the city compliant with ADA compliant with its streets and sidewalks. I don't see much advancement in that. where is that money? Just like we asked, where's the housing money that the city gets? Where's the money for infrastructure for this? We should be, 17 years I've been bugging about this stuff, not here, but just wondering why we can't seem to progress. And why, and it's just, I'm frustrated with street services.
2 minutes,
But that,
thank you. Our next caller for public comment on item number 4 is Yvonne. You'll have 2 minutes for your general public for your comment on item 4.
Thank you. I would just like the speaker to define for me what is a major street update. How is that defined and compared to a minor one? What is the scale here? Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of our comments for item 4.
Thank you. We'll now have item 4, a status update on major upcoming street improvement projects. Ms. Dora Robles. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, President Mike Davis, Commissioners, and Bureau Representatives. My name is Dora Robles with the Street Renewal Division of Streets LA. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on the upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays. For additional information or concerns, you can contact our coordinating section for the Street Renewal Division at 213-847-3200. There are no major street projects scheduled in the Metro or Valley resurfacing regions during the week of October 20th through October 26, 2024. However, we will provide an update on our 24-25 pavement preservation program. During the week of October 20th, 2024 through October 26, 2024, the Metro and Valley regions will complete 40 projects resulting in 11.41 lane miles. The press releases were distributed and notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the council officers to assist with the outreach and stakeholders. We have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is also available on the Streets LA website using the resurfacing open projects icon. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my report.
All right, any questions, commissioners, of item on item number 4? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Is it Superintendent Robles?
No, this is
Oh,
my superintendent.
okay, all right. Well, Administrator
Garcia.
Robles, thank you so very much for a great presentation on updates.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. With that, we have item 5, La Gloria relocation status update, and we have a public comment from WMF. WMF, public comment on item number 5.
Yeah. You already started the clock, but, regarding La Gloria and this fucking rotunda shit, we're wasting so much fucking money in a hood like in Boyle Heights. It's a hood now. You got homelessness, you got encampments, you got RVs and cars parked on every fucking street. If you're a homeowner, you can't even park in front of your motherfucking house. So by doing this, you're only creating more congestion. Save the fucking money, save the fucking planet, and provide us rotundas in new cities, new areas where white motherfuckers like they done in the West Side by UCLA. You heard about that, right? What did Judge Walter say about you fucking niggers? Stop using federal and state money and fucking veterans at UCLA and Brentwood. We don't need baseball fields for white privileged motherfuckers. We need housing. We need parking. We need infrastructure, not like this La Gloria bullshit. Just fucking give them $1 billion and have them move. That's it. Then you decide what you want to do with your tortillas, your flautas, your dozens, and whatever. Because, back in the day when I used to walk from school through there and go to Belvedere Junior High and walk all the way home to the hood off of formerly Brooklyn Evergreen, because that's where I grew up. Formerly Brooklyn Evergreen, and now you named it after that fucking wetback, Cesar Chavez and his Chango clan. And what did Nuri Martinez says? Pega el pinche chango que se calle, cabrones.
That's 2 minutes. Thank you.
Next, Greenspan, item number 5. Mr. Greenspan, item number 5.
Yes. Do I get my full time?
No, we've called your name.
Don't I get my time?
Mr. Greenspan, you are to speak on item number 5.
Yeah, well,
LaGloria-
they took my time away.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to start it from the beginning. That's all.
I would ask for you to start at this time.
Well, it's been running the whole time. We're talking about stuff over there in an underserved neighborhood. You had that turnaround thing. That doesn't work. You've had a couple of them. As far as I'm concerned, your ideas suck a dick like this. That's what I think of your ideas and my time being deprived. I should be able to speak for the full time. All I needed was some clarification. But no, you have to be a real dick about it, Davis. You really do. All I wanted was my full time, and you don't seem to want to give that to me. So this is how I protest your attitude. Because you think that you can just, let's just throw the project to Bureau of Engineering, and they'll just take care of it, with all our money. And when we come out, we'll have nothing but some capital improvement, if you want to call it that, or it's kind of a monument, just like that little turnaround failure. You've got failure after failure in that district, and no wonder it's a shithole area over there, Boyle Heights. Obviously, you see, good old, what's his name, Siegel, Mickey Cohen moved from that area. It wasn't a shithole area. It's always, they made it, those wetbacks made it that way. It sucks a dick.
Mrs. Zorzarki, do we have any additional items on the phone?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We'll take our 2 public
those at this
commenters on
time.
the phone. Caller Audit LA, you'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I just don't know if you're aware of this. When you have the sidebar conversation, that the mic is picking it up. I don't know if you might want to cover the mic if you need to have a sidebar conversation. But that being said, I'm just going to go by the word in here where it says relocation. It's good to know that the city can relocate things that are not wanted to be in one place, but wanted in another place. So I'm going to ask you to put that same equal opportunity to these non-ADA planters at Scientology. Keep some of them. We like flowers. We like the butterflies, and all that stuff. We don't need them all to go. We just need enough to go so that it's ADA compliant and not putting too much pressure on our sidewalks and streets. So let's do equal application, let's relocate, the Bureau of Engineering. I have more confidence in them. Every time the Bureau of Engineering comes in, they come across as very highly capable and professional people. So let's put them to this task of equal application of relocating things that are unwanted and unneeded in our community. That being said, thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and hope to see you next week.
Thank you, caller.
I yield back my time.
Our next public comment on item number 5 is caller Yvonne. You'll have 2 minutes for item 5.
Thank you very much. I want you to expedite this relocation effort. The business has been closed. It needs to be restarted. It represents some employment, and also it represents a welcome home kind of feeling when, you miss your tacos and your burritos. You got to have them. So please expedite this effort. Thank you.
Thank you. President Pro Tem, that's the end of our public comments for item number 5.
Thank you. We'll have Mrs. Janelle Para at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis, commissioners, city representatives, and guests. Good morning. My name is Janelle Para. I'm the property manager for Bureau of Engineering Real Estate Division. And I'm here to report on the progress update on the La Gloria relocation as requested by the Appeals Board at the conclusion of the relocation appeal hearing held on February 4, 2022. On July 24, 2024, La Gloria entered into a contract with Casco Contractors, also known as Casco, for the tenant improvements related to the relocation of the equipment and reconnection of it at the replacement site.
Can we keep the noise level down? We have one person talking at this time. Would you continue, Mrs. Para?
Sure. Casco requested an initial payment of approximately $273,000, and that was delivered by La Gloria on September 11, 2024. Additionally, La Gloria entered into a second contract with Casco related to the improvements imposed by the health department, and majority of that cost will be borne by La Gloria, and the city will be responsible for reimbursement up to $33,200 as it is basically the relocation law. The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power requested a site visit with the John Berry Associates, La Gloria, Casco, and Deloitte, its hired architect, in order to basically figure out the location of the switchgear and also for power run of the consolidated power. The location was approved by LADWP and officially documented on September 11, 2024. Other activities related to La Gloria's relocation includes communication and coordination with major stakeholders such as the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, Casco, Building and Safety, other city departments, La Gloria, the Displacy, and Deloitte. Also included are environmental source testing and permitting, ANSI corrections, vendor communications, and also asbestos testing and remediation. The table on section 2 reflects the budgeted amount of $1.14 million, also the requested amount of $1.210 million, and an approved amount of $1.243 million. When this oral report was finalized, there was no updated schedule. However, as of yesterday, we anticipate that La Gloria will be relocated at the replacement site on October 2025. Some of the activities planned for next quarter includes continued communication with the major stakeholders, SCAQMD, corn oven source retesting, asbestos abatement, and also procurement of the substitute equipment. That concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have about this item.
So as I understand it, the completion of the project is anticipated to be October 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in terms of the budget for it, have we increased the budget from last year's budget for this relocation task?
It is anticipated that the approved budget at $1.414 million will be increased, and as of, I want to say 3 weeks ago, that board report has already started and it's in final review and will be presented to this board shortly.
In terms of the work that we do as far as hiring people to do the relocation, how do we go about that process in terms of the selection of the small businesses that you use or in major contractors we use to do that work?
Sure. John Berry Associates, the contractor that we hired to manage the relocation for La Gloria, solicits bids from the different contractors that are specialized to do the different work that's required to relocate La Gloria. And then based on that, there are many factors involved in selecting the contractor, and La Gloria and the city are actually in communication and partnership when they enter into a contract with the selected contractor.
When you look at some of the variables you use to hire those individuals, is there a local requirement in terms of some of the companies that we engage with, or what is the process?
Because the business itself is very, very complicated. We make sure that they're basically aware about the different aspects to relocate a tortilla manufacturing company. So in this particular project, I believe the La Gloria, the displacee, received approximately two contractors for each of the items that needed to be bid out. And based on cost and also the delivery, like the schedule of how and when they can deliver the requested items, is the criteria that they use to select the different contractors needed for this project.
So are those contractors from the region here, or?
Yes, majority of them are local. Maybe not necessarily within the city of Los Angeles, but within the neighboring cities.
And in terms of the workers that live in the region, are some of the small businesses from the region that are engaged in the work that were selected?
That I'm not too sure about the composition of the different
Okay, you
companies
don't know
that
the
were
answer to
hired.
that question. In terms of the funding that we have, the 1.43 million, where does that money come from?
It is going to be funded by the Transportation Grant Fund, Fund 655.
Is that a state-funded resource, or is it a local one, or is it a federal one?
I believe it's a special fund from the Los Angeles Department of
So it's
Transportation.
local funding?
And
Okay.
I know that there may be some funds from the federal that may be used for construction.
Right.
But as of what I know, it's going to be the transportation.
Right, I did hear you say, in fact, that there's some highly specialized subspecialties that are required to do this work. And I understand when we talk about that, oftentimes we don't have the choices that we would like to see in terms of inclusion. However, when we look at this work, did we envision a philosophy of outreach for the area? Inclusive. It doesn't have to all be that, but I'm just interested to see the way in which we went about the philosophy that we employ to do outreach for small businesses or those major companies, if you will, that would do the work. Was there some process that we had in mind prior to the work being selected?
Yes, President Pro Tem Davis. It is actually a policy of the department to remind the contractors about the business inclusion program and to do the outreach within the local community first.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Any other questions from commissioners? Okay, hearing and seeing none, thank you so very much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Mrs. Zagorski, have we covered all the items on the agenda today?
Yes, that is the end of our agenda items today.
Okay, that concludes our agenda for October the 18th. The next regular scheduled board meeting is Wednesday, October 23rd. The meeting now is adjourned. Thank you.
At 11:33 a.m. Thanks.
All right.
Oh, shh.